So tonight we are starting with the semi-burial of PDP, the once upon a time ruling party in Nigeria, whose supposed products of the party ended up, out of their greed, ended up destroying it, as much as it never really served the good interest of the Nigerians in the long run anyway. So their greed, their ambitions, and so on, as well as their indiscipline, contributed to the total annihilation of PDP. But that didn't kind of like manifest until when they played with Wike. When Wike got played by the northern caucus of PDP, who sided with Atiku Abubakar at the time. From that moment on, the supposed demise of PDP began. And today they have two factions. Faction that also again splitted by once upon a time friends, allies. I'm talking about the district governors, where Solomon Kinde Ibadan is a member, maybe secretary, I've been a deputy. So after that, he said they only did that in 2023 with the plan that after they have betrayed their party in 2023 for Tinubu APC, then they will go back and rebuild it. Okay, rebuild their party for 2027. Something that Wike sort of like disagrees with. Like, no, that's not what we're going to do. They would have to keep Tinubu in power for 8 years. And to achieve that, they must do everything to make it impossible for the likes of Atiku or Ravi to control the party. And they have succeeded. So Solomon Kinde splitted from him and formed a group with Bala Mohammed from Bauchi. So, cut the long story short, in November 2025, which is the last year, Makinde, Turaki, and the rest organized what they call the party convention in Ibadan. So the party convention in Ibadan produced Turaki as their own national chairman. And at that convention, Wike was dismissed from the party, like expelled from the party. So that turned to another court case or court cases. And for those who knows Wike and the bench in Nigeria, I don't know about another decade though, but for this decade, they have it all on lockdown in what is called the state capture, currently active in Nigeria anyway. So, Wike and his gang, they got the upper hand. The federal high court dismissed whatever they did in Ibadan, which means it became like, a legal non-binding. And then with the weakest team, they were given the upper hand. So they went to appeal. PDP of Turaki and Solomon Kinde went to court, appeal. And today, the court also ruled that, well, still, with the weakest gang are the authentic PDP. Therefore, they are the only people to be dealt with as PDP at the national level, the whole country. Do you know what that simply means? Is that it's like signing the final death warrant of the remaining 2 governors. Do you know that PDP only have just 2 governors left now? That Zamfara governor has left. So you now have just Bauchi and Oyo State as PDP states in Nigeria. So what Wike intends to do is to ensure that, right, PDP will not be able to produce any presidential candidates. That's the topmost. And if for any reason they are unable to get the control of the party at that level, right, then definitely PDP will present no candidate at all in the whole country. Something they sold to those who are the National Assembly members. Because see, majority of them have no other job. They have no other means of survival except for this politics. And no matter how much they pretend to, to be on the side of the people, the highlight of their goal is to remain in that corridor of power and continue to milk the system in a way. So many of them knows that if they are unable to run for election, then they won't be able to actually rig election. And if they are unable to rig election, they are going to lose their new tickets. So it was easier for them to quickly jump and join Tinubu's party, because if you stay stubborn and then waiting in PDP, you realize that there is nobody to sign your what do you call that thing, your interest form or something, and it will be too late for you to go to anywhere else. So that's what they sold to them. These what do you call it, disintegrated PDP from inside, from within. And as it is right now, the Nigerian court has them. So when the ruling was delivered in the appeal court today, Bala Muhammad and others, they had to walk out of the court in kind of like a disappointment and anger. But they are planning to go to Supreme Court anyway. I've actually given you almost all the story, right? But now let's go in and see how it all happened today when PDP of Turaki, which is the Solo Makindese faction, Bala Muhammad's faction, were told that for the second time, no, you are not the authentic PDP. With the weakest faction, of course, celebrating first the walkout. So that was the Bala Muhammad walking out. But for Turaki, and then the other guy, the former secretary, and I think he's still their secretary now, with the weakest secretary, Anyang. So they both addressed the press after the court. Okay, so I'm going to take you to that one, then to the next one. Yeah, when Bala Muhammad walked out in anger, disappointed. This one's didn't walk out in anger.
Thank the justices of the Court of Appeal for their hard work and industry. Not only in the marathon manner, they had the appeals, but even the way they delivered judgment this morning up to this evening. We have listened to the judgments of the Court of Appeal, and we still maintain our position that our courts have no business in meddling into matters that are purely political. These are matters that should be left to the internal affairs and internal resolution of the political parties. We have asked our lawyers to collect the certified true copies of the judgments that have just been delivered by the court. The court had promised that the judgments should be ready by tomorrow. So as soon as the judgments are received by our lawyers, they will advise us on what further necessary steps to take, if any, on the basis of the said judgment. So unless that is done for now, I will say good evening, members of the press. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr.
It's a victory for everyone. Justice has been done. I want to appreciate the court for being very critical in this judgment. And it's a wake-up call for political parties to be able to ensure that their affairs of the party is being guided by the Constitution and other guidelines and instant laws. For us, we represent nobody because we are all PDP, and it's an opportunity to also call on every member of PDP to come back home. Let us move ahead. It's an opportunity for us again. Well, you've had, if you recall, you've heard that there was not like suspension, and it was not before the court. So that is just a mere
speculation. What's next for the party given this judgment now that we are done from the Court of Appeal? How ready are you guys for 2027?
Well, I can see already we have commenced with because of the judgment of the Federal High Court by Motosho, which asked us to go and ensure that congresses of the 14 states have been done. We have already started that, and then we are also preparing for our next convention, which will take place between 29th and 30th of next month. So I believe that other things are going, and we have also commenced our registration as a party. We are ready for the 2027 election.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, like I said, I have advised that what we want is peace in the party. Like I said, we have not won anybody. This is victory for every member of PDP. So if anybody decide or insists to go further, well, I wish them luck. But I don't think there will be anything different from what I've had today.
So with the Wike camp, this is just a fruitless effort for Makinde and others to still insist that they want to. But mind you, inside that same Nigeria, they have the Supreme Court judgment, right? I said that party politics, internal affairs of parties and all of that is their own business, that they shouldn't be bringing them to court. Unfortunately, they will take them to court, and court will still rule on, similar cases that they have actually ruled on, and Supreme Court has ruled on before. But that's how they roll it. It is one court order after the other, one court order, and all of these, they are all deliberate. Because at the end of the day, with the new INEC timetable being at the INEC Electoral Act for 2026, so majority of your political parties, except for APC, you have been so much like a boxed, right, to the corner. And those who are doing for this, that of the PDP, right, we all know that is pretty much deliberate. So the effort is to ensure that the party would have no reason, because after this whole shenanigans, right, the next thing is you are going to see that the PDP is going to endorse the second term. That's what you're going to see next. Because by then, it will just be the idea of the rainbow coalition nonsense that Wike has been kind of like pushing everywhere. So right now, they advise the Turaki guys not to waste their time anymore. At this point, they've got two options. Join them, let them do what they want to do with PDP, or leave the party entirely. Others have been leaving, by the way. But yeah, from the court to Wike's room.
Hold on. Oh, yes, we have a Father who will never fail. We have a Father who will never fail. Rock of Ages, never fail. Who can battle with the Lord? Who can battle with the Lord? Who can battle with the Lord? I say nobody. You will recall that the three of us. You will recall that the three of us had approached the Federal High Court. Constitution
and guidelines in our party. And today, the Court of Appeal has spoken very loudly. The law has taken its course, and we are vindicated. We just want to say that we assure party members across the country that what we did was in the interest of democracy and the interest of Nigeria at large. We thank you all.
That's my own. I think that is an opportunity for PDP to look inwards. It's okay. We have fought. Now it's time to, it's okay. Enough is enough. Let's come back. Whatever we can do to put our hands together. Then we will, but if you continue with the fight, or let's go to Supreme Court at this, it is not going to all go well for the party. If you're a lover of this party, you not encourage it. But if you say you want to go, we are always also ready. Because for me, it is development of the law. Today, most of us who are always talking about entire affairs, we don't even read what constitutes entire affairs of the party and what does not constitute entire affairs of the party. So many people have gone home to say anything that has to do with party is entire affair. That's not correct. And that's what the position. Look at all the appeals. We are all dismissed with cost, heavy cost. If you calculate the 9 appeals, and there's no one that did not say you pay $2 million. If you add $2 million, if you time by multiply $2 million to 9 appeals, that's about 18 million you must pay. So it's an opportunity for us. For me, we have done what we're supposed to do, and it's a standard. It's okay. We have fought. Let us drop our personal interest and make sure that PDP becomes like the opposition party. And that's the only way Nigeria can move. The only opposition to I think we have is PDP, and the only party is APC. No other party are considered to be opposition. The matter fact that you are really stand as a political party does not necessarily make it to be opposition. We don't have any seat anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. So that's my position.
But Your Excellency, sir,
no, it is very.
I mean, you listen to that, right? We don't need to go to court anymore. All of us have to come together for this party. And we start working together for the progress of this party. It's not working for the progress of the party. Because Wike is not working to make PDP contest against Ifnumbu, challenge him. No. Like, how can you be a loyal party man that is working to relegate your own party? And then you're boldly saying that to camera, telling people that we all need to come together to work for this party. And that this party, for the progress of this party. But there is no progress. You have helped Kolu to swallow your supposed party with the plan that, okay, after Tifnumbu, they can all rebuild it back again and it can be business as usual. When politicians play God, yeah? So they took themselves to Shemu's studio on Politics Today, on Arise, this evening, on Top the Matter. So the one who is the supposed publicity secretary to the other faction, as well as the Wike's chairman, the chairman of Wike's faction, the one that is authentic, according to the court, right? They are both with you this evening. First, the secretary.
That is what it will mean. And I mean, without having to be condescending, the interpretation of or the judgment of court today made it look so much that a lot of you in the PDP are political gangsters. And the court said that there are violations of the Constitution, the violation of your party rules, the violation of the Electoral Act. There is a substantive court order, and as a lawyer, you know what that means. And there's a lot of confusion in your party, and your party looks like a gang of confused politicians. And you see the implication of what has happened to your party today. Your party is left with how many governors? Maybe 2 or 1.5.
okay, so
why does it look that your party, and the Court of Appeal has said, yes, you are challenging the right of the court to enter that matter, But the court has said there is a locus to, I mean, he has a right to be able to enter that matter. But the question is that there is a substantive court order which you should have gone to vacate or appeal. You did not, and you went to Ibadan. Holding on to another order.
Oh, glad you've gone there. My lords, in their wisdom and their consideration.
So your party is a party of confused people.
No, it's not. Whenever interests abound, and if the interests do not go head to head, people are bound to struggle for something. That is the nature of politics. It is inherent in politics that interests must collide. What is
meant to window shop